So I just learned something fascinating about Ruby, the programming language, and it's really making me rethink how we approach coding.
Oh, what's the big deal with Ruby? I've always known it's popular, especially for web development.
Exactly, but what caught my attention is its simplicity and object-oriented nature, which seems to make coding more intuitive.
Right? And it's interesting how its syntax is designed to be straightforward. That must lower the barrier for beginners.
Definitely, but wait, does that mean it sacrifices some power for that simplicity? Like, are there limitations?
Good point. While Ruby is simple, some argue that it can be slower than other languages. Performance could be a concern for large applications.
That's true. I mean, if you're building something that needs to scale, you might hit some walls.
Exactly, but it does offer cool features like operator overloading and exceptions handling, which can be super helpful.
Right? It's like Ruby gives you tools to express complex ideas more clearly. Can you give an example of how that works?
Sure, with operator overloading, you can redefine how operators like plus and behave for your own objects. That sounds fun.
Wow, that's like giving your variables personalities. But is there a downside to that level of flexibility?
Well, yes, too much flexibility might lead to confusion. If someone else looks at your code, they might not know what to expect.
That's a solid warning. It's like when you customize your phone so much that it becomes unrecognizable to anyone else.
Exactly. And speaking of features, Ruby has this thing called mixins. It's a way to add functionality to classes without traditional inheritance.
Mixins sound intriguing. Is that like combining traits? How does it work?
Kind of, instead of building a complex hierarchy, you can mix in modules for shared behavior. It's more flexible.
That's cool, but doesn't that introduce complexity? I mean, figuring out where a method comes from could get tricky.
True, it makes tracking down issues harder, but the trade-off is often worth it for cleaner code.
I can see that. Cleaner code is appealing, but if it leads to hidden problems, it might backfire.
Right? Plus, Ruby's garbage collection helps manage memory, which could be a double-edged sword if not handled properly.
Garbage collection sounds useful, but I've heard it can add overhead. Is that a common concern?
Absolutely. The garbage collector can kick in at unpredictable times, causing pauses. That's not ideal for high-performance applications.
It's like having a great party, but then suddenly needing to clean up. It disrupts everything.
Exactly. But for many web apps, that trade-off is manageable. Plus, Ruby is known for its developer-friendly environment.
Right? The community and accessible documentation seem to make learning easier for newcomers.
Yes, it's a welcoming space, which adds to its appeal. You can get help quickly, and that's crucial.
So would you say Ruby is best for rapid development projects where flexibility is key?
Definitely. It shines in startups and web applications where time to market is essential.
But what about maintenance? If you have a lot of custom features, could that complicate things?
Yes, maintenance can become a challenge. Having clear documentation is critical to ease that process.
That's a good takeaway. Documentation feels crucial in programming, especially for languages like Ruby.
For sure. And speaking of resources, the Ruby community offers plenty, from mailing lists to forums.
That's nice. It really fosters collaboration and continuous learning.
Absolutely. And Ruby's creator, Yukihiro Matsumoto, envisioned it as a language that prioritizes programmer happiness.
Happiness in coding, that's such a refreshing perspective. It makes me want to dive into Ruby.
And that's the essence of it. Ruby aims to make programming enjoyable and productive.
But is that an achievable goal? Can a programming language really enhance happiness?
Good question. While it can't solve all frustrations, a user-friendly design can make a huge difference.
So the takeaway seems to be that Ruby balances ease of use with some inherent complexities.
Exactly. It's about finding the right projects where Ruby's strengths really shine.
I'm left wondering how many developers miss these nuances when choosing a language.
That's a thought-provoking point. Maybe the choice of programming language should align with personal values.
Which brings us back to that idea of happiness in programming. What if we made that the primary criterion?
Now that would be an interesting shift. I wonder how many would still choose Ruby in that case.
It could lead to some surprising revelations about language preferences.
Totally. I'm excited to see how this discussion evolves in the future.